There's gonna be more of them, right?
Use of deadly force is in progress. Fugitive is attempting to evade capture. Beginning pursuit.
Why is there assaultrons here, by the way? Like, oh, fucking shnikes, whoa. Whoa, dudes. I'm still high on drugs, right? So I should be fine. Yeah, okay, thank fuck. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Nick.
Good.
That doesn't make sense. Why would lockdown end if there was like if every protectron like died, if everything that was supposed to kill me died? That doesn't make sense, game. It just doesn't. It's not how it's supposed to work. I'm just gonna be honest. Anyway, let's go. Let's get out of here. If I want to play something brain dead, I'd be engaging with real life. I wish that wasn't true, honestly. In some ways it is and isn't true. It depends on where you're at, you know. I do gotta say, if you're a smart person in education days, it's more true than not. I mean, working a dead-end job is very common currently, and that's also, you know... Wait! Oh, that's a synth! Oh, sorry, you're my friend, buddies! I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Let the synths do their job, I guess. I mean, real life is kind of brain dead, but at the same time, we are meant to be in charge of making it better. It's just there's a lot of things that are making it worse and harder for us to make it better. It's a complicated day and age. I agree with that statement. I just wish it wasn't true. And there's more to it, but it's still kind of fucking true. There's a reason everyone spends their time doing nothing online. And there's also a reason why a lot of people just run away to the damn hills and just live out their life like that. But there's a lot of people that are in society don't want that. Like, it's not gonna actually fix their problems or make it, like, make them happy. Even if they do need more, like, natural, maybe sunlight or fresh air. Or what do you call it? Fucking fresh air, trees, whatever, you know, nature in their life. Even if that is true, kind of like that needs to be introduced in the modern day. It needs to be more common within everyday life. And besides that, we need more consciousness between people and connection. Actual connection. I remember when I was growing up, people were like, older people or parents or whoever were like, you can't waste your life away on a PC or in the internet. Look at the fucking society these days. That's exactly what it's built upon. Yes, you fucking can. You can have a whole damn life that way these days. And there's a reason people are doing it. It's to avoid the toxicity of the everyday. Better to be lost in your head than not, right? But fuck, what book was it? There's a book about it. There's literally a book how the world outside is just like broken. It is literally fucking broken, and everyone has VR goggles on all the time. And they just take it off to go to the bathroom and sleep and eat. But most people can't really afford good living anyway, and everyone's like living in fucking trailer homes on top of trailer homes on top of trailer homes. Like, there's literally like ghettos made out of trailer homes. Player number 1? Yeah, I think that's it. That's a really good depiction of where the world's possibly going, but there's also gonna... I don't know, I feel like there's people being pushed to power, like, positions of power and places of possibilities or opportunities that are gonna have a chance to change everything, whether they are gonna do that or not. But I think a lot of people have been preparing to be in those positions and to try and do their best and to create something worthwhile. It's just, we're about to see how the next 15, 20 years are gonna go. And there's still some corporations and companies and countries hell-bent on not having that the case. But I think even they are kind of scared at the results that they have currently. Even they are scared, man. Even they are scared. But yeah, Fallout 76 is a waste of money. It's a waste of money and it's just it's crap. It's just fucking shit, honestly. And so it's wasted potential because I can see the potential in the game. It just doesn't employ it at all well. It's kind of like I wish there was like a multiplayer game that was like, you know, the Fallout world and franchise, but it's non-existent. That there are people that have made really good roleplay experiences and events, and they have good tight-knit communities. They're probably your best bet in experiencing that game the way it's supposed to be experienced. But like, I've already went through that phase with DayZ. I don't want to go back there. I already know what it's gonna involve. I already know what it's gonna involve. I haven't been a multiplayer gamer for years, honestly, years, because gamers are one of the most toxic collectives ever. On Twitch, they're not as much. Because you can, one, fine-tune your collective, and two, you kind of only connect to people that are like-minded anyway. You know, it's a whole shebang and shit thing. But when it goes to actual multiplayer games, it's still the same. It's the same as when I was growing up. It's very uncomfortable to, like, be in a multiplayer environment as a girl or a woman, unless it's your close friends. Or you find like that one lobby that isn't toxic, or you're just a solo gamer that loves multiplayer games and you don't give a shit. Oh my god, that was such a bad frame drop, my god. Or you play you play like role-playing games. I think those would be the safest for people. Huh. You guys look like nice military people in a way. Or you would if I didn't know any fucking better. Good movie, really shitty. Oh, good book, really shitty movie. Yeah, no, that was my experience too. And I read about the movie before I saw it, because I finished the book and I still need to finish the second book. It's not as good, but it's still good. It's still good enough. It just delves, I think, into the characters more than to the world, and that's not for everyone. I think the first book was so great because it had a new expansive world that had really good points and everything else, and the second book is more intense and kind of just a stressful story that involves also like a lot of the interpersonal drama and internal drama of like the characters. And it's kind of, it's not as well done with all the, like, you already know the vibe, so they had to pick out certain things to build the experience around, and it just didn't work as well. Like, it wasn't as interesting. It still wasn't bad. It's just, you know, I think the world drew you in, so they kind of could have made something about the world to begin with, like explored it somehow in a different way, but yeah, I do want to finish it for the love story side of it. I'm curious how that ends, which is probably not that great, but the movie sucked butt, and I read about it a lot, and I'm like, well, let's still give it a try. I didn't get through it. I didn't get through it. I don't remember movies most of the time after I watch them anyway, but I think I didn't even make it through the 20 minutes? Maybe it was like 20 or 30 minutes and I was like, yeah, no, this is shit. 'Cause it's so far away from the details of the book, man. Like, you didn't need to go away from the details of the book. You coulda... You could have just left it the way it was. And you didn't need to reinvent the wheel, buddy. And you still did that, and you still fucked it up, man. Why do movie adaptations make it something they don't need it to be, man? They do make it something it don't need to be. Okay, back to the institute, right? Yeah. Let's just say the education system spat me out when I started having mental health issues. I feel you on that. I literally, yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, I already saw issues with like where I was kind of getting education, and I hopped to college in the UK and tried getting psychology education the best I could, and I got to a really good place, honestly. But I started seeing bigger issues with society and the system at large. And then it's kind of hard when you're asking questions and no one understands what the hell you mean in a deeper sense. That's scary. That's kind of fucking scary. I'm not gonna lie. Especially when you're learning psychology, sociology, and other things. I still learned a lot of good stuff, like about criminology and how the mental health system works and everything else. It's just sad to learn how it should work and then see that none of it works that way, and that you are being prepared to be a better version of it or critiqued, like a person that can critique it, and then see like it's not coming through. And then also have it kind of go away and fail because of personal matters like mental health, losing someone, something like that, you know. And that you can't, you would need to either start again or just give up on it. So I just chose to give up on it. So I kind of feel you on that. I really do. But at the same time, getting a diploma is as helpful and as useful as it is, to some extent, it's not that important. Depending on how far you get, you can get away with a lot of things, and you can get a good enough job anyway. If you don't or you can't, well, that's a bit devastating, because there are paywalls in real life too. But at the same time, you don't get brainwashed. You don't get brainwashed, you don't get programmed, you don't get slaved away by the same system or the same track. But it is still a devastating experience, because you gotta figure out life without the same journey or the same legs that hold everyone else up, right? And it can be devastating. But a lot of people kind of get in the same position or end up in the same place without proper education and with proper education. It doesn't really matter. You will still end up in a dead-end job, or you won't get paid enough, or something else will be fucking happening. It's just, what do you make of the journey that you get? But it is sad that we don't have enough support for anyone going through hardship or difficulty. It doesn't matter what it is. Whether they lose someone and they can't continue education, whether their mental health declines, whether they become homeless, whether they lose a bunch of financing, right? Or become an orphan, or like whatever it is. It's kind of sad that our society doesn't support that, and it's kind of like, oh, well, you lucked out. But it's like, well, you're society, you're the government, you have institutions, money, people, all of these things, and yet you ignore the reality of what you should be providing for your people? Like, what the fuck is the point of any of this then? Like, what really is the fucking point of any of this then? And then you just realize it's just money for most
Dr.
people.
Fillmore? Well, I see
Most
you managed
places.
on your own. I won't lie. I was a little nervous you wouldn't pull it off. Seems I needn't have worried. I'll make sure the agitator gets where it needs to go. I understand Father is anxious to get you involved in something else. You'd better not keep him waiting.
Wow, I did that with my talking clothes again. Which is not surprising. This game is not hard, even on the hardest difficulty. I mean, it still killed me. I haven't died much in this game, but it still killed me, so... Never been much of a multiplayer gamer either. Indeed, a toxic steaming pile of dog shite when it comes to the community. Most Twitch streams also turn out to be really toxic when they become like bigger. Yeah, I hope mine won't if it ever blows up. But I know I can't. Like, I will be able to do something about it, and I won't be able to do a lot about it, but at the same time, if you are a positive streamer, there's a certain level of detachment and boundaries you need to employ for your own fucking mental health. Like, at the end of the day, you can't control who's gonna look or watch, right? But you can still at least put effort in creating the community vibe and environment you want, and then putting the right people in charge of it. It's not out of your hands completely, even if you need to employ a certain level of detachment. And I feel like most people just get big and then they stop caring, they give up, they're like, oh, my community will, you know, sustain itself and keep itself up and do all that it needs. It's like, if you have the right people for it, sure, but if you don't, you're literally letting itself be a rampant, like, toxic cesspool, and then you're ignoring the people that could really benefit from, you know, you creating a good environment for everyone. But the internet is like that, right? At some points in general. It's just kind of sad. Like, I don't watch anyone no more. I don't watch no streamers. I'm not a part of any Twitch or Discord groups, because even the ones I like, and there's not a lot I like. I don't really like anyone except for Cozy, which I think she's mental health oriented in a really good way. But I know I just won't click with people there. Like, it's very disconnected. There we go. It's not present enough for me to be present there. Or maybe there's just nothing there for me to begin with in general. Where the fuck do I need to goddamn go? And it's fine that it's not like that for me, but I agree with what you're saying. Having been a part of gaming communities as an administrator for many years, even as an admin, I've suffered a lot of like online abuse and toxicity and other things, and it just made me be like, you know what, there's no point in trying to find friends online even, which is kind of sad, isn't it? We all should want to connect and make everything around us better, ourselves included. Where is he? And it doesn't work that way. I mean, I know why it doesn't work that way, but still, I would hope, you know, there would be some places that are better than others. And for some people, they are that way, but when it comes to a lot of like either hyper intelligent people, very soft, kind-hearted people, you know, it's just not. It's just not. And even if you get a lot of awesome, amazing people in one place, there's still something in between of all of it that needs to be like faced and encountered and tackled and, you know, worked on. And a lot of people just aren't. They don't have the energy for it. They don't have the persistence and capacity for it. Everyone just stays silent. Everyone just shuts the fuck up. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad.
You wanted to see me?
I understand mass fusion was a success, despite interference from the Brotherhood of Steel.
Okay, we're gonna talk in a moment. I tried to get back into school this year to finally obtain the other half of my papers, and generally I can't. Massive amounts of perfectionism, and I'm not learning anything. I'm killing my time by looking for ways to optimize the stuff they just tried to teach me. Fucking facts! That is just, you put it so well. That's exactly my fucking experience too. I was really sad because I've had a passion for human development, psychology, health, and society since I was 6. Like, I literally was kind of like, I want to help, you know, heal people and the planet and whatever. And you don't have the opportunity. And I know that it's not just for me. Like, I'm into psychology / human health. Other people are into engineering and other things, and, you know, whatever it is, but you literally get the opportunity to either put yourself in an environment that you just slave away to, being so burned out by the end of it, you just get, you know, panicked to just get into the next phase of just having whatever job you're qualified to have, which we do need qualified people for those positions and we need qualifications, but the experience of education isn't educational. It's limiting, and it literally breaks apart a certain dynamic or a certain part of like society that could be evolved through other means. It breaks those people apart and leaves them not just being empty, but they can't even finish the education side of it. Like they can't finish the amount of years they need to do. They can't go through
Hello,
certain
Mother.
means of like how they're,
Enjoy your
judged
time.
or the estimate of like whatever qualifications they need to achieve. They just can't. And it's not their fault. I think it's literally society being put in a way that isn't helpful, that just destroys the opportunity to exceed or achieve.
This
And
truly is
I
one
I
of
think it's
those.
just it's gonna be a growing problem and pandemic within our planet or all around us, because there's more neurodivergent people, there's more smart people, sensitive people, there's more of that, and now it's being categorized. A lot of those people are getting categorized
I
as
couldn't
like
be more
mentally
proud of what
unwell
we've
or
achieved.
incapable of certain things, and it's like they're not. It's just society isn't actually
You wanted
fucking
to see
made
me?
to
I
be
understand mass fusion was a success,
supportive.
despite
So
interference from
I
the
feel
Brotherhood of
yeah,
Steel.
honestly, because it is a waste of time. Like why should you go through something that should evolve you and help you create something and make something of yourself and the world? Why should that kill your time and waste it and leave you dead by the end of it? You know, leave you in a place that you were worse off than where when you began, the journey. What happened? I'm sorry, you said it like a few times. I'm just gonna ask you again. What did
You
you
wanted
say?
to see me?
I understand mass fusion was a success, despite interference from the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yes. I mean, three of those options are the same, more or less. Well, two of them are. I'm curious what you heard. Yeah.
What did you hear?
Dr. Fillmore's report was quite thorough. The Brotherhood's intervention must be placed in a larger context, however, given their penchant for hoarding technology. Future conflict with them is guaranteed. We are, after all, keepers of the most advanced technology in the Commonwealth, if not beyond. It also cannot go unnoticed that there were concerns within the Institute about your allegiances. I, of course, never doubted your commitment to our cause. But by directly confronting the Brotherhood, I think you've put some others at ease. I'm proud of you, regardless. The Brotherhood is an issue for the future, and we must focus on the present. And look at me, rambling on like the old man I am.
You
I'm
are.
wasting time. You're
You
needed
are my
elsewhere,
son,
of course.
remember? What? Oh, I need to go back working. Fine. Can I be sarcastic about it? I haven't heard enough sarcastic replies, though, to be fair, but my heart says more reactor
Do
parts.
you need more parts for the reactor? I could have gotten them while I was out.
No, this is a different matter. Hopefully one that does not put anyone at risk. This situation, I'm afraid, is something of your creation, however unintentional.
What do you mean by that? What's happened?
Well, while you were assisting Dr. Fillmore, a second team was sent out to invite someone from the Commonwealth to join the Institute. Apparently, there was some miscommunication, and this individual called for help, which arrived in the form of your Minutemen. My understanding is that no shots have been fired. I would like it to stay that way. I need you to go there and speak to your Minutemen gathered outside. Insist that they stand down at once. Dr. Thompson is on site, and he will be your primary contact. I know you can resolve this situation, but it is of paramount importance that this special individual be brought to the Institute immediately.
Why all this effort? What's so special about this person?
Mr. Wallace? Despite a lack of formal training, our surveillance has shown he has incredible intellect. With his help, we may be able to drastically speed up work on the reactor.
You could have actually persuaded the dude instead of like abducted him, because I'm guessing the way you put it is you tried and steal a person, and then the Minutemen were called to protect him, and now I gotta be a diplomat about kidnapping. That does not sound fine or fun, and I understand you guys are scientifically elitist to the point of like not really seeing the problem with certain things like that, and you can't. Supposedly you can and can't. I mean, depends, you know, but still, you definitely could have played this better. But everyone doesn't trust the Institute anyway, and this is gonna show everyone that I am connected to the Institute. This might not be a good thing. This might not be a good thing. I genuinely don't have anything that I'm really passionate about. Life just feels numb at this point. You are not the only person. I made a video to myself talking about it while I was playing Fable, because I kind of went back in time and I went to the present and I've noticed some things, because you know, I've been feeling that way for most of my life, but the point that there's an increasing number of people that feel that way and they're making videos explaining that experience is telling me that this is a global experience. Some people are still, you know, just kind of driving on the freaking impulses, and a lot of people are gonna think they're happy that way, but they're not really being themselves, and they're not actually happy. They just think they are because they have a dopamine high, or they're led by ideologies, beliefs, and programming that makes them believe they're living a life that's worthwhile, when you actually are kind of conscious and you see how society is falling apart and that we are on the verge of so many good and bad things happening, or good and bad decisions occurring, and the rest. Like, you kind of don't feel that way. But there's also, you know, people that are genuinely like detached in their own world and they're just happy. And then there's other people that are not happy, that are like devastated by where we are and what's happening, and they can't win for trying. Yeah, maybe they can have like a basic experience of a numb experience where they're just kind of living and breathing, but it's not important, it's not conclusive, right, to anything. Sorry, that's kind of freaky. You can see the glow from way over here, but it's a global issue. It's literally a problem that's kind of growing right now, and it's hard for people to understand or explain. Maybe a lot of people think that it's just them, but I don't believe it's them. I think it's the world, and it's a certain level of like consciousness and in the collective of people, of humans all across the fucking planet that are getting to that point. And if you put yourself in a dead brain state, then yeah, you know, you're stuck to your phone, you're constantly like scrolling, you're kind of working like whatever to just make ends meet, and you're finding a reason for it and just justifying it, but there's not a purpose or a meaning behind it. And the thing is, like, there are people that are kind of still working on their passions, but they gotta fight through it with tooth, nail, claw, and they're last of the last. And it's a hard experience. Like, yeah, you have more meaning and purpose, and you're more satisfied with following your passions, but you have a lot going against you. You have a lot of the time a toxic family responding in negative ways, or out of nowhere they're not like they're basically like not on your side. You have friends that you keep losing, or you don't find any friends. You're kind of always a loner, right? You can't get a job, you can't hold a job, whatever it is, but maybe you are working towards achieving in passions and making life real and doing something with it. The point of what I'm saying is basically that life and the world is meant to have people in it that are consciously living and experiencing themselves and working on what they are meant to be in terms of passion, in terms of purpose, in terms of what their fate and destiny is for them, is what they love, what their dream is, and making it real and achieving it. It's just there's so much going against that currently that everyone's miserable for no damn reason, and we are living in the easiest time ever. It's just weird that we have so many things and tools around us, but it is the most emptiest and saddest time in life in a way too. It's kind of like it's a paradox. It's such a weird fucking paradox, like that we're living in the easiest time ever, right? And yet everyone's so sad about it. It's because we're not pulling our resources to make the best of the world, the best of life. We could literally have New Eden on planet Earth if we didn't have all of these fucking stupid things in the goddamn way. We have enough resources to have everyone drinking clean water. We have enough resources to not be polluting the planet. We have enough resources to have everyone freaking healthy in the medical like scheme of things, or even mental health wise. We have all the resources to provide for people, but we're not doing that, and that is a sad reality. If we didn't have that, then you know, it's, at least we have that excuse. We don't have those excuses anymore. It doesn't work that way. And genuinely, a lot of people are feeling empty, numb, and have needed to give up on their dreams to just even be sane or survive. And that's not good, because for our world to work or for us to be happy, all of us need to be working on our dreams and passions and going through that life, no matter how tough it is. But you opt out and give up because literally everything around you squashes you out of it, and then or makes you feel childish, naive, insignificant, and a stupid dreamer for it, when you are a brilliant mind most of the time, or a great, kind-hearted mind person that is, you know, essential for people to even just see a brighter future, to have like a result of
What's
that.
going on here?
It's so
You're an
sad.
unexpected surprise.
It's fucking
You
sad.
could use the backup. These Institute bastards aren't getting away. They'll have to go through us to get out of there. We don't know quite what we're up against, but it's good you're here to help. How did you hear about this?
I'm not sure you know what's going on here. This situation is complicated.
Oh, I know exactly what's going on. These assholes think they can kidnap whoever they want, whenever they want. Well, not today. Not while we're here. So, how do you want to play this? We thought about trying to lure them out here, since it'd be easier to kill them. But then we realized we probably ought to storm the place, to make sure they can't disappear on us. That makes sense, right? So, you want to lead the charge?
I wonder what Citizen would be, but knowing this game and how it doesn't tell you what the fuck the options are, is gonna be like, let's save the Citizen! Is like, I thought it was gonna be like Citizen Stand Down or something,
No
but it's...
one is going to do anything. Tell your men to stand down.
I don't... Are you kidding me? If we don't do something now, they're gonna take that poor guy wherever it is they go. And we'll have failed. Again. Are you gonna order the attack or not?
This whole thing is just a misunderstanding.
A misunderstanding. Can't wait to hear this. Explain to me how this is a misunderstanding.
You sure you're willing to risk being wrong about this?
Look, I just want people to be safe, you know? I don't want anyone else dying or getting kidnapped or whatever. We
I
won't
like
start
the
shooting
fucking
enough.
conversations
you-
sometimes.
You better get in there. And make sure you're right.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll make it right, man. I think me saying, like, do you want to risk his life either way was gonna somehow work too. This guy looks like he has a heart, but, yeah, I literally had that vision when I was younger, and it freaking devastated me that, everyone is just meant to heal from their issues, collaborate, and like seek out their dreams and be their best version, but no one has an easy time about that. Everyone fucking is keeping you away from that and fighting you on it, and eventually the safest bet is to just join the masses and give up, and I'm never gonna say like, hey, you know, this or that about anyone that does that, because I went through like a period of that, but I guess that's also what's so admirable about people that actually do still hold their heart intact and somehow keep the soul going or keep the passion going and come out at top of it and, you know, remind everyone else to keep doing it and going for it and whatever. I think we just need enough of those people scattered around and for them to not lose hope and to have that strength. And one person can change a whole workplace. One person can change a whole collective. It doesn't seem like that. It fucking hurts a lot of the time. It's not a great fucking journey, right? But it's the reality of the situation, and there's still people that are going for that, and there's also still gonna be people that give up on that. It's just some people are better versed for it than others. Others are always gonna be like, you know,
That's it.
kind of followers and keep it simple, but there's always also going to be people that are always going to be pulled towards like some type of level of depth or expansion or whatever, and if they kind of don't subscribe to that no matter what, they're still going to have challenges, they're still going to have pain, they're still going to have issues, they're still going to feel occasionally, you know, empty. Not as much though. It's gonna be a lot more fulfilling and a lot more purposeful, but it's like at the end of the day, what do you choose? It's just, I think it's a hard thing that no one teaches you, that the best thing you can do if you're a person that has deep thought or passions or dreams or desires, the best you can do is get yourself to a safe spot where you don't have toxic people around you, you don't have something tampering with you, you don't have something messing with you, fucking with you, or draining your energy, or making you feel insane and worthless. And that might be a lot of things you think are good for you at first. And that could be a lot of things that are gonna take, you know, effort. You are gonna feel better by the end of it. Might be a bit isolating or other things, but you're gonna have a will to live. There's gonna be a bit more of a meaning behind life. And it is just a choice, you know, to either give up on yourself and your dreams or to move forward regardless of what is occurring. And to see what happens and to make the most out of it. It's a weird world like that. It's a weird experience. Yeah.
Dr. Thompson.
Oh, thank God you're here. I was starting to worry we might not make it out of this mess.
How exactly did this happen?
I'm not suited for field work. I've said that over and over, and they sent me anyway. There was no indication that Wallace had been in contact with anyone or was aware that we might be watching him. If I'd known, I don't know. Maybe I'd have tried to handle things differently. I know he's potentially important to Phase 3 and all, but I'm not sure it's worth putting ourselves in harm's way.
Why did the Institute send you specifically?
They thought I'd be able to relate to him with my scientific background.
So much for that plan.
I know they've been keeping an eye on him for years. Not sure how they originally found him, but probably don't want to know. But once they realized how smart he was and what an asset he could be for Phase 3, they watched pretty closely. I think they even fed him scientific material from time to time to see how good he was, you know, testing him, to see if he was Institute material. Let's just get Wallace and get out of here.
What does this Wallace guy have to do with Phase 3?
Wallace is, well, brilliant by all accounts. Like nothing we'd seen in the Commonwealth prior. He truly has a gift when it comes to theoretical physics. He'd be an asset to the Institute, specifically in getting the reactor running. With his help, we could accelerate the timetable immensely. There's just, well, there's a slight problem with that. He doesn't want to go with us. I was thinking, maybe you could try and talk to him.
Any advice on how to talk to him?
Don't make him angry. Let him know we're not going to hurt him. In fact, his life would improve considerably.
Yeah, the usual. The conversations are so lackluster. Like in some points, it's kind of like, why even give me some of the options? Why even give me the option to talk? I don't know. Some answers the NPCs give are very much self-explanatory too, but anyway.
Director.
How I see it, speaking as a person who has always struggled with emotions and makes basically every decision in their lives based on logic and fear, there is a huge social pressure on fitting in and therefore clipping the wings of ambitions. Yeah,
I'm
I
looking
feel you
forward
on
to what
that. I
gets
feel you on
revealed.
that. I think that's literally any and every person that has potential to change the world.
Mr. Wallace,
I don't know
I'm
why
here to
it is
talk to
like
you.
that. It's just set
You're
up
another
like
one
that.
of
I mean, I do
them,
kind of,
aren't
but
you? Are you a robot?
Don't be ridiculous. Of course I'm not a robot.
That's exactly what a robot would say. I've heard all the stories. I know exactly what happens to people when the Institute shows up. Well, it's not happening to me.
Hey, just calm down, okay?
fuck, I wanted to save the
just wanna talk
game.
to you.
I'll reload the
Fine,
autosave if needed.
fine. What do you want from me?
The Institute needs your help, Mr. Wallace. It's as simple as that.
My help? With what?
The Institute has an engineering problem that your scientific expertise could help solve. In exchange for helping us out, you'd be granted access to the most advanced research facility imaginable. Whatever research you wanted to perform, anything, it's possible there. I promise. You'd be safe and secure in a way that's completely impossible anywhere else.
You'd be helping us create a better world.
That sounds good. Okay, fine. I'll go.
The sooner we can get out of here, the better. Okay. I think we've got this under control now. Thanks. I mean, thanks for the assist.
What do you mean? Thanks for this. Why did you need to elaborate that? I want to say screw you because I don't know what he meant by that. It sounded like he was hiding half of his opinion about who I am, supposedly. Or maybe he's just that annoyed. I don't fucking know. I want to say screw you. Fuck it.
Screw you. There are plenty of things I'd rather have done than come fix your mess.
Wow. Okay. Message received. I'll see you back in the Institute.
Sorry, Nikki. I just wanted to know what that answer was gonna entail, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't mean anything by that. He just sounded like he was being rude to me. I think he was just like being annoyed by the situation that he's in already. I hope when we don't have things to deal with afterwards together, I hope I don't need to actually talk to him about something and then he remembers me giving him sass. That wasn't sass. That was worse than sass. That was straight up aggression. That was fucking not even passive aggressive. That was straight up aggressive.
Hey, General.
That's it?
Huh?
No, I can't tell you anything? This game, man. So completely incomplete in all of its quests that it's just not even... It's just unreal, man. It's just unreal. Oh! Wait, no, I think I did save. I could be misremembering. I guess I did do a save. Oh, so everything's a hardcore save. Everything's a proper save. Like, it's an auto save, but it's not like the temporary auto save that you usually see in video games. That's fair enough. I thought it was gonna be like, yeah. I don't want to reload just for the point that I upset Nikki. That was a decision that I took ownership of. I was like, yeah. I'm gonna deal with that. I'm gonna deal with that. But yeah, It's really weird, like people that, you know, it's either you like conform to society that doesn't serve you or isn't gonna make you happy anyway. It's just gonna leave you like passionless, dead, and emotionless anyway, you know, than finding your own power and peace, because usually people that are more powerful than the average, like, you know, than the average like expectation or the average like system requirement for society are the ones that, you know, feel like they're being funneled into submitting, into losing themselves and just submitting to the point of like, oh, you've got to comply, you got to be a part of society, you know, etc., etc., etc. I I honestly, I when I was younger, I hoped that there was more variety within society, but it was kind of, there's a lot of things that, as complicated as they are, it's black and white. It is pretty damn fucking black and white. And the reality behind it all, the success of it all, is kind of finding where you can play the best game from, and it is not complying with society. It is not putting yourself down to keep your friends and family happy. It's actually breaking out of that and creating whatever is your tiny space of paradise, just so you can make the most out of the world being against you. And that is me, and it's not for everyone, because it's a hard game to play. But I know the alternative is being so disappointed by everything. You're empty, and then you're an of empty vessel, you know, that's slowly becoming brain dead, apparently, as well. Why are there boxes here? There weren't boxes here before. Were there? What the f— maybe there were. Maybe I'm— I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. To be fair, that is also the biggest gripe I have with the game. The roleplay options are just so lackluster. I mean, any point of personality or personalization with this game is lackluster. Like, it's nice that there's different options per se, right? But it's also kind of like the Mass Effect effect. It is the prime best example of a big open world game that is not fleshed out and has the Mass Effect effect, plus the simple quest idea of like Bethesda games all around. There's no personalization with it. There's no— the branches aren't that unique. It's just it's a vague flavor of different choices, and roleplay wise, communication wise,
There you
conversations
I
are the
cannot
worst.
express how pleased I am. Our new guest is familiarizing himself with his surroundings. Yet he's already pointed out
It's like
several
fake conversation
deficiencies
that
in our methods.
isn't
With his
real.
help, Phase 3 will be ready in no time. And it's all thanks to you.
Well, maybe it's because I'm the only one who seems to actually be doing anything.
Come now. Countless hours have been spent building and readying the reactor. True, you have endured some of the more dangerous missions. Such is the price of leadership. There is one more part for you to play, and I think you might enjoy it. It is time to announce our presence to the Commonwealth, to request that they do not interfere with our plans. You should be the one to do it.
I don't know what I want to respond with. Is it save lives or you're kidding me? I have both of those as a feeling currently right now. Like, glad we're gonna save lives. It's good that we are gonna advocate it. The point that you were using Kellogg, the serial killer, as your puppet, and the way you were using him was really bad. I guess you needed to get answers either way, and honestly, like, you were stolen as a kid by him, so whatever. I have a question in my mind. How was Kellogg younger than Sean if Sean was stolen by him when he was a kid? Like, he was a baby and Kellogg didn't age. Is it because of all the augmentations? I guess that it was because of all the augmentations. and probably some type of chemical or like cell evolution DNA bullshit that they did. But I just had that as a question. I think it got vaguely answered without concrete evidence along the way. But I literally only just now had the question like, wait, Sean's older than Kellogg, and Kellogg stole Sean when Sean was a baby. You could have gotten him under control, Sean. I'm sorry. Yeah, Kellogg was basically half synth, but he would have still aged. Like how did they work? I mean, obviously a video game is not gonna be having answers on how like a fucking DNA structure doesn't age or how your freaking like heart and everything else doesn't age. I'm now thinking back to like biology and the research that I've done that I understood or realized like basically we can be immortal, but I can't remember. Yeah, okay, never mind. It is answered. It is answered. Kellogg had I can't remember which part of the fucking brain it is, but the brain stem connecting to that middle part of the brain. In general, the brain is actually the only part that starts creating plaque. So even if all of our organs would be perfectly supported, because they can live for ages and ages after we are long gone or dead, right? Even if like they have a longer lifespan than any other like aspect of, you know, us considering with the brain. The brain is the thing that ages and deteriorates the soonest and the quickest, and it has like a failsafe in it. If we could potentially somehow like protect all of our organs and support their development and having them as good as possible, it's always still going to be the brain that builds up plaque and creates issues and then deteriorates the rest of the body. All of the other organs, if we weren't, you know, living and healthy or having certain like things happen to them, they could potentially live for longer than 100 years or 150 years. So potentially I'm gonna overlook it because it does actually compete with some sci-fi ideas. I mean, games aren't supposed to be realistic. It's just I like looking into those details because that's what makes games interesting to me. So I think you're kidding me would be a good idea.
You've got to be kidding me.
Absolutely not. You are to be the director of the Institute. You are the only reasonable choice for so important a task. We've prepared some remarks for you to record. Once you're finished, we'll broadcast them to the entire Commonwealth. Use the microphone here and follow the script. It's quite simple. I'm sure you'll do fine, Mother.
I mean, yeah, in this world where science is so advanced and it has kind of like weird freaking contradictions and weird like connections of different things, yeah, it makes sense. Still kind of find it funny and weird that you
If you could,
saw me as the potential leader
we'll
for
need
the new
final
world.
recording before we go too much further.
Yeah, I will make it, but I need to take a break quickly, and I need to also just comment on the point that I did deceive you before when I took the break from gaming this, and I'm kind of sad that the Brotherhood didn't take that as like, oh, okay, we can kind of trust her because that one mission of liberation, you know, shifted out to this. Railway hates me, and I freaking helped them protect that synth. I don't know, maybe I'll put in a proper new regime. It doesn't seem that way, though. It doesn't seem that way. You either break loose, leave the family behind, and actually feel meaning and achieve something, or you're gonna die trying, whether it be physically or mentally. Sadly, that is true. I was a hopeful person, thinking it was not this way a year ago. I don't believe that anymore. I think that was like my last grain of like assumption that maybe it doesn't need to be that way. But I do gotta say, you do see signs that that is the way to do it, and it's not like you need to actually be as toxic as other people and step over people and like do the same things that other successful people do. No, it's just going to be a way longer and drawn out process, and those shifts and changes are uncomfortable, and they're not necessarily anything that anyone wants to choose. But if you have to, you know, it is kind of something like rest well with your laurels of choosing not only what is best for you, but might actually be the healthiest general scheme idea that people are just afraid to subscribe to because of societal brainwashing, fear, and other things, you know? And it doesn't need to be that way, but it is. It's sad that you might see signs of it and avoid that truth for years before you actually take it up. And by the end of like that, right, you know, you might say or think like, I can't even do that choice because it's so overwhelming, it's so painful, it's so much of a hard experience to go through. But I don't know. I think if you're a come up artist, if you're a big heart, if you're a kind soul, if you're a genius, just go for it and do it, because the alternative isn't ever going to be enough for you or satisfy you anyway. Like, you were born with the hard wire already of like seeing that as the truth, then not wanting it to be the truth because etc., and then coming to that decision all of your life anyway. You got to do it when you're confident about it. You can't rush it, you can't force it, but you know, it's either that or you fight everything off with the stick and then just have mental physical shutdowns until you can't go on anymore. It's a weird ass world we live in, but it is that type of experience and simulation we are going through. And yeah.